John, and this is my first YouTube recording, beginning of my YouTube channel. I'm 70 years old. I was retired. I'm still working right now. I was formerly trained as an auto mechanic. I actually worked as an auto mechanic in the field for a few years, quite a few years. Then I had a career for about 23 years in the tool and die industry, prototype sheet metal stampings, and I ran a company that my father started in 1946. And then I became a real estate agent. I sold houses for 15, 16 years. So I've had a lot of things, done a lot of different things. Still like to do mechanics. When I retired about 4 years ago, I got everything done on my house, got a little bored, decided I wanted to go back to work. So I actually became a bus driver, school bus driver. And when I did that, I only wanted to work in the school district that my kids went to, my son. And it's in the town where I live in mid-Michigan, and Goodrich, and that's the school district I went. It's a small school district. It's a very good school district. They have very high MEP scores, nice community, and I did get hired in there, so that is part of my YouTube adventure. I'm going to take you along on my adventure driving the bus. It's pretty cool. So what do we do? Well, I do a lot of different things. My wife, I'm married, my wife and I, we love to go camping. We have a truck camper, and we are boondockers. So what that means is when we camp, we don't go to a campground. We go to state land, federal land, and do that kind of camping. Some people call it dry camping. We don't have any hookups. Our camper's all modified, so I'll take you on a journey on the camper. It's pretty cool. Had the camper for many years. I think I've had the camper for 20 years. Same camper. It's highly modified. We use 3 big deep cell batteries. We run it through an inverter. So we have regular 110 power if we need it. We run a lot of it off 12 volt. I like to do a lot of hobbies. I'm a licensed ham radio operator. I'm an amateur extra class, so that's the highest class on the ham radio. It took me a while to get that, and I'm proud of it. I enjoy it. I haven't done it lately, but again, another journey that we'll go on in YouTube is explore the ham radio. It's kind of cool. A lot of people that are preppers now want to have a ham radio because when the grid goes down, as long as you've got a 12 volt battery or a solar panel, you can run ham radio. So it's pretty neat. I talk all over the world. I also do local FM 2 meter, but the long distance stuff is AM, amplitude modulated. It's pretty cool. I like to do metal detecting. I got into that over the years. I haven't done it lately, but it's kind of fun. Just look for coins, different trinkets. I found a ring, gold ring, at the beach last year. It was kind of neat. I like to fish. We like to boat. We had a big fishing boat years ago. Once our kids were grown out of the house, we didn't really need that. It cost a lot of money to fill the tank. It's had a 150 gallon gas tank. With the price of gas, it was a little much, and we really don't need that kind of a boat. But we do have a boat I'm working on right now. It's a little flat bottom John boat, and it's kind of a project in holding. So we got it started. The plans are down the way. What we're going to do is run it strictly off electric. We're going to run an electric outboard motor. It's going to be pretty slick. With one big lithium-ion battery, it runs off 50 volts. So that's in the making, and we'll get back into that someday. We got a lot of projects going right now. We're going to work on the YouTube. When I drive the bus, I drive a route. So there's three kinds of bus drivers. Trip drivers, that's the type of driver that takes kids on the trips to sporting events and museums. There's a sub driver. That's a driver that would fill in when the regular route driver is sick or we have an absence for some reason. And then there's a route driver, and that's what I am. I'm a route driver. I have two routes. I have one route that has middle school and high school kids. And then I have another route that takes the younger students all the way from preschool up through grade school. So I work about 28 hours a week. So I drive each day about 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's a nice job for a retired person. You get the weekends off, you get holidays off, you get the summer off. So for me, it's nice. The bus driving for me is the enjoyment of the kids. I do like driving, I always have, and being an auto mechanic, and being that I had a boat, I was always good at driving trucks, backing things up, things like that. So it's a lot of fun. But managing 75 children, either you love it or you don't. I happen to love it, and it's extremely fulfilling for me. And like I said, as I take you on the journey of the buses and explain, because I think most people don't really understand what it's about fully. You really have to get into it to understand. It's quite something. But anyways, we have a local bus garage. We have 12 routes. The lady that I work for, our direct boss, supervisor, head of transportation, is a third generation bus driver. So her grandmother was a bus driver, was actually her bus driver. Her mother was a bus driver, all for the same district. And she is now the supervisor, and she drives. So right now we have a few people out that have switched jobs, and so we're down a few bus drivers. So we have one of our sub drivers filling in and our direct supervisor. So we have one of our drivers is out sick had a gallbladder operation, so we had to fill in. The age ranges of our drivers pretty interesting. Our youngest driver is 20, and the oldest driver is 75. So we have quite a range there. So it's pretty neat, and that's kind of cool. My mission on the bus driving is really more than the job. I want to make a difference with the kids, try to teach them some life skills, and develop a relationship with them and teach them some things. They're great kids. They're kids, so they're learning. And every day is a new adventure. You have no idea what's going to happen. I've been driving for about 3 years now, and so I know these kids pretty well. And like I said, the route that I drive goes right in front of my home, so it's actually the same route that my son was on. In fact, one of the bus drivers, when my son, who's now 27, was in the school district, is still working as a sub driver, so it's kind of neat. So that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be in a big school district with Tons of buses. We have our 12 buses, plus we have all our spare buses in case one breaks, so I'm not really sure exactly, but we probably have 17, 18 buses that run. There's a few extras in case one of ours breaks. We can grab a sub bus, and there's a few extras in case someone has to take some kids on a field trip. So we have a full-time mechanic who is busy all the time. The school is lucky we got this guy. He's real smart, younger guy, and he's good. He's saving the fleet. We do not have new buses. They're older buses, and that's okay. They're non-air conditioned, older buses with a few miles. We buy them used, but our mechanic keeps them up really good. So it's pretty neat to experience that. So enough about the bus garage. I live in a small town. My wife and I live on 5 acres. We have lived in the same house for over 20 years. It's a beautiful home. It's actually a hybrid log home. So it's square logs on the first floor, 2x6 walls on the second floor, with log siding on the second floor. So yes, the downstairs where it needs to be. We have a 30 by 50 garage. I call it a barn. It's not really a pole barn, it's a conventional built garage. And we'll go on that adventure and take a look at the barn on the next video. The barn is all insulated. It has a couple of workshop areas, wood burning stove, propane heat. Part of it's drywalled. It's a pretty nice setup. We do a lot of projects out there. We have another area where we keep the camper. We have a Kubota tractor. We have a little garden going now in one of the windows. We have picture windows on each end of the garage. Well, that's kind of cool. So we spend a lot of time out there. My wife likes to garden. I do too, but she does most of the gardening. And we're just getting into starting some canning, preserving. She does a lot of natural remedies with different herbs and plants. So she's making tinctures, oxymels, and again, we'll have a YouTube on that and explain how that works. And it does work. It's amazing the amount of natural plant material that we have on our 5 acres. So the house, when I bought it, I was a real estate agent. Because I sold houses, I was exposed to a lot of different houses, and they were kind of boring to me. And I didn't want a cookie cutter house. My wife and I did not want to live in a subdivision, so we just live on the 5 acres. We're not part of a sub. We back up to a sub, but we're not part of it. And it's very free out here where we live. You can pretty much do what you want. We don't have any animals. We have a dog. That's it. We've had some animals over the years. We used to have a lot of cats. We've had rabbits and a few things, but with that, of course, goes the maintenance. But there's a lot of people in the area that have horses, cattle, chickens, things like that. It's a nice area. It's a nice community. The taxes are reasonable. And again, being that we've lived here for all these years, we know a lot of the people, the locals that live here. It's pretty neat. It's a very close knit community. People help each other. It's fun to go into town. There really isn't much of a town. It's a very small village. We have one intersection. But what's interesting is that this township, Hadley Township, it's it's prosperous in the fact that they don't. They have a beautiful town hall that was just built a few years back. They have a park. They're expanding it right now, putting in a walking path and pickleball courts, things like that. In the main part of town, we just have a few stores. We have a barber shop, chiropractor, a little hometown dollar store, a general store where you can get anything. There is a little library there. Across the street there's an ice cream shop that sells pizza. That's about it. I mean, there's a couple little miscellaneous places that do welding and things like that, but there isn't any big industry here. It's nice. We have a post office, which is really cool. And I'll take you on the adventure. I mean, it's the kind of a place where you might walk into the post office and there's home-baked cookies on the counter. You go in and the pizza at the ice cream shop, it's called the Parlor, is great. There's ice cream. You go for an ice cream during the summer, you're probably going to run into someone that you know. We have a very well-run local government here. Our township, I know most of the people that are on the board and the trustees. In my opinion, runs very well. So we have a awesome 4th of July parade here. I think it's probably the best 4th of July parade I've ever been to in my life. So very hometown. We have an old mill where they used to grind wheat. It's turned into a museum. We'll go over there and take a look at that someday. It's pretty neat. Local people have a historical society, so you can see what life was like in the town back in the day. Town was founded in around 1835. It's interesting that there's quite a few of the founding families. They're all still here, and there's a few of them that have relatives on that I take on the bus, so it's pretty neat. The other town where the school is, the town of Goodrich, is a little bigger, so it's still not huge, but it's nice. You have a good school. The school buildings many of them are brand new. They're nice. They're fairly new. They're not old. They got a good athletic program. My son went through the whole school system. So yeah, living out here is like living in a small town that you dream about. That's not for everybody. I know there's people, we've had neighbors that moved out because they didn't like that there were no sidewalks or street lights and all kinds of malls and things, but you're very close. You're 20-25 minutes at the most from two big cities. You can go into Lapeer or Grand Blanc, all kinds of stuff, Home Depot and Walmart and all the things that modern society would want. We of course shop there, but I like to be home in my small town, so it's real nice. We call our place Quail Ridge Ranch. Our last name is Quail, and our property is on a big ridge, so we're up on a hill. It's nice. It's not just flat land. It's up on this big hill. It does add some challenge to getting up the driveway in a deep snow, but we have a tractor with a back blade. We'll probably show you that too, the plowing of the snow. I like to plow the snow. I like driving in the snow. It's kind of cool. We put snow tires on the front of our two front-wheel drive cars. It's like four-wheel drive. We also have a four-wheel drive 3/4 ton short bed pickup that we use for the truck camper, but in the winter time there's no truck camper on it, so if we ever got into a giant sized blizzard, we can just hop in the truck and throw it in 4-wheel drive. So it has some pretty good off-road tires on it. And that's not a problem. So we're not like stuck here. We do have a wood-burning stove in our house. We don't heat with that primarily right now. We used to. We burned wood full-time for about 10 years. We stopped. We had to make some changes to our house. There is some work involved in burning wood. Our source of fuel, we have a regular furnace. It's hot water, forced air, but our boiler runs off propane. Our stove and our oven and our dryer, all that runs off of propane. So we have a big 400-gallon tank off the edge of our driveway. This is very easy. Propane, in my opinion, it's fuel efficient, it's efficient, it's easy. Truck comes, fills it up. We do pre-buy. I'll explain that. So part of the channel, what I'd like to do is explore some of the things that we do as a homeowner, and now my wife and I are seniors. How we get by, how do we survive, what are the smart moves that, if you're in a situation like us, how do you save money? How do you save money on fuel? How do you save money on maintaining your yard and buying groceries and gardening and all these different things? So we'll probably get into some of that. I think today with the inflation, you've got to be smart. You got to think smart, and it's challenging. My wife and I are both retired. She worked in the healthcare industry for quite a few years. She runs the farm when I'm working at the bus garage, and we receive Social Security. We have a nice benefit. I worked for 45 years before I retired, so I'm grateful. Put the money in the system, and it's working out good. We are lucky. We're blessed with good health. So part of our thing is that we're trying to eat very healthy. So we basically don't eat sugar, carbs. We're kind of on a sort of a keto diet. We try to eat very clean, so we don't buy any pre-prepared foods. We don't want any preservatives in our food. So we try to grow some of our own food. We're not big on that, but we're getting there. But when we buy, we try to buy organic when we can, when it's practical, and prepare our food from scratch. So there's more work involved for sure, but our theory is that to keep healthcare costs down and improve quality of life, that the investment you're going to make in healthy eating and healthy living is going to pay off. So I need to get on a journey of a little more exercise. My health is generally pretty good, although I am overweight. So I do need to lose some weight, but other than that, it's been pretty good. So that's working out good. But I do want to share some of that. My wife, as I mentioned before, makes a lot of stuff, tinctures, which she will explain what they are, oxymels, different things that you can consume that are good for your health. And I can tell you from my own experience, these things work, and they're free for everybody. We don't spray our lawn anymore with weed killer. We eat our dandelions. We make tea out of dandelions. We make tea out of the marigolds, the mullein, weeds, all these different things. We harvest them, eat them. We do mow our grass, but we try to, reduce the amount of chemicals. We're also trying to protect the animals. We've got a lot of animals come on our property. It's kind of neat. White-tailed deer. We have a lot of turkeys, different birds. We have a couple of bird feeders going. It's neat, especially in the wintertime. It's beautiful here. We're going to be cutting some trees this winter. We'll cut some trees down, trees that just need to be thinned out, or they're junk trees, so that it'll help the good trees grow. So I'll take you on that adventure. I'm slowing down a little bit on the cutting because of my age. 70-year-old working a chainsaw, you got to be very careful. So, but it's good exercise. I love to get out. We do our chainsawing in the winter, so that way we don't have to worry about bees or bugs or anything like that. You're not sweating in the woods. It's easier, and we'll drop some trees down. We do have some trees we're going to be taking down that are also there's some cherry trees that are very nice firewood, so we'll be cutting that up. And we have wood stacked behind the barn. We'll dry that wood, and then we have a wood burner in the house and in the barn, in the garage. So in the barn, I really don't turn on the propane heater very much. Use the wood stove. It's nice. We cook over it. It's a lot of fun. Right now I got to get our internet fixed, but we have a karaoke mixer machine out there. We can get the words for karaoke and the music off of YouTube, and we have our microphones, and it's a lot of fun. We go out there on New Year's Eve and sometimes at Christmas time with our relatives, hang out in the barn, eat food, drink a few beers, get the fire going. It's a lot of fun. And it's fun because you can go out there. I've got tools. As an auto mechanic, I have 2 big roller cabinets full of tools. We have some basic woodworking equipment, so we can build things, simple things that we need to. Our home has a semi-finished basement, and we've got that set up. It's kind of like a little mini apartment down there. So there's a bedroom and a rec room. We do grow some plants down there. Laura gets all her seedlings started that she transplants outside in the spring. We do them in the basement. And then we have a pantry area. Again, we'll take you on a tour of the whole place. You can see the pantry area. It's where we keep all of our food prep for prepping, and anything is very cool. Temperature's consistent. It's kind of a neat space that we just went through, and we painted all the walls and the floor, got it all cleaned up. We buy our meat in bulk, so we buy a pig at a time and a quarter of a cow. So we have a refrigerator freezer and then 2 more separate freezers that we fill. And again, that's another survival technique that we do as seniors to save money on the groceries. So that saves us quite a bit of money. We don't really drink a lot of alcohol, a little bit, but not much. I don't drink at all, so that saves money right there. And meat and alcohol are 2 of the biggest costs at a grocery store. And of course, pre-prepared foods are very expensive, so we like to take our savings, and if we're going to buy something, we're going to buy some quality food. So that, that makes the most sense for us. We pretty much, for the most part, eat at home. I'm not real crazy about restaurant food just because I don't trust how it's made, but that's just me. I don't eat out a lot, but we eat good, I can tell you that. So anyways, it's going to be a fun adventure. We're going to go down the road with you and show you a few things. I think you're really going to enjoy the bus driver part. I know I do, and I tell the story because, like I said, I've got 60, 70 kids that are on the bus from this wide range of 5-year-olds to 16-year-olds, and it's quite something to see these kids grow and their social interaction and everything. And if I can be a positive influence on them, that's great. I'm privileged. So it's a big responsibility. I can guarantee you wouldn't understand that unless you were a bus driver. I mean, it totally changed at first I thought, wow, this is going to be driving a bus. It's much more than that. physically at 70 years old, driving the bus, turning the wheel is the hardest for me. I've got arthritis like everybody at this age, and get up at 4:30 in the morning. We hit the road at 6:15 in the dead of winter after a big snow blizzard in Michigan. It's interesting, and but I like it. The part about dealing with the students is sometimes challenging because you want to be a good role model and you want to be there. I'm with these kids. Think about it. 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours at night. So 6 hours during the day, I'm with kids in a bus, much like a teacher. So I have an influence on them. And you can't just be a robotic driver. I can't imagine how that would work. But for me, I look forward to every day. It's fantastic. And of course, I told you that the organization that I work for, the Goodrich School District, and my direct supervisor, is a great place. They treat us with respect, treat us like professionals. You're not going to become a millionaire being a bus driver, and that's not why I went into the job. I don't need it. I'm not doing it for the money. So the money that I do make, it helps me fund my hobbies, but that's about it. So, but the reward for having a positive influence on the kids, the students, which is the community, it's unmeasurable. It's crazy. And the people that I work with, all the other bus drivers, I gotta tell you, they're professionals, very professional people. And we'll explore that. You'll see the place where I work, and hopefully meet some of the other bus drivers. It's a cool group of people. We have a good time. We work hard. It's pretty neat. So bear with me when we get going here on this YouTube. I'm real excited about doing it. I've never done anything on YouTube like this. I like the tech part of it, the cameras and the lights and all that. And right now I have an office upstairs in my house. It's in one of the kids' old bedrooms. Have it fixed up pretty nice. But we'll do a walk around. Probably maybe the next YouTube video that I put out, we'll do a quick tour of where we're at, and I possibly will jump in the car and run down to the bus garage and give you a tour of that. And like I said, eventually then my wife Laura will be showing you some of the projects that she's involved in. It's pretty cool. So I think that's going to be it for now. This is the first video, and welcome aboard if you're watching this. I hope that you become a subscriber. Wish me luck and say a couple prayers for me. I can keep going here. The video editing takes some time, but I get faster at it as I go along. And I'm just going to be real on these things. I'm just going to leave the mistakes in. I'm not a professional actor or anything. It's going to be real, and that's what people want. They want to see some real stuff, and hopefully it'll help you. And maybe someday I'll do a live stream. That'll be kind of cool. So I love watching YouTube. I've learned so much from YouTube over the years, learning different things. And I would imagine down the road you'll probably meet our 3 kids. So they live fairly close by. Our oldest daughter is married, and her husband's an engineer at Chrysler, and our youngest daughter lives by herself, and our son lives by himself. So they all have careers, they do stuff. It's pretty neat, and we raised them well, and they're turned out to be good citizens. So, but you'll meet them at one of our events. So that's all for today. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next YouTube.